been here, I've had this rotating $20 bill that's just been, you know, it's just been going back and forth to where, and that's, you know, where if I could just be stable, just to be able to say, you know what, hey, guess what, we have 20 extra bucks, we have half a tank of gas, let's go visit Sandy, you know, let's go get a thing of donuts and some coffee and a 12-pack of pop, and let's go over to Sandy's and sit on the lake. Let's go do that. And that's, I think, would be the greatest goal. And then once people have that stability and that pride in what they've achieved, you know, like this house here, you know, it's the fruit of my efforts. It really is. You know, I don't own it, you know, but I worked hard for this house. I really, really did. I put in years and years of work for this house. And that in itself, just to show my sons, my family, my people, you know, especially because now that would step into the spiritual and cultural realm of us. I work for our people. That's my job. And from that, I got this house. You know, from doing the work that I do.
To say the work he does for tobacco.
Yeah.
He's paid in money. He helps a lot of people here. He does everything from life to death, ceremonial, and never takes a dime for it. He gets paid in tobacco. So
Yeah.
people should understand the difference in what that means for him to dedicate his life's work for something he'll never be paid for.
See, yeah, and that's where, you know, where for me poverty is really, it's in our teachings. Him and I have talked about that a lot, about what do we call it, pity, pitiful.
It's
and
a certain kind of
it's a certain
poverty
way.
is a value in our culture.
And it's not really,
the English version.
it doesn't translate right. And what it is that I believe with all of my heart. Like yesterday, I had somebody come over here for a name, and then we had a feast for that drum up there on the shelf, and then I had somebody else come over here about 10 o'clock for some other stuff. And each time it was a pinch of tobacco. Now, my belief in that tobacco and belief in what I do, I know it works. I've never gone without. You know, I've not been able to go to town when I wanted to. I haven't been able to go to a casino on double point day. You know, I haven't been able to do those things, but I've never been without food, without coffee, and without cigarettes. I've never been without those three, and toilet paper. The priorities of life.
I know.
You know, and that I know that's what's going to happen. You know, I know that, and that in itself, you know, in teaching our kids that, you know, that's all part of it. It's all in tune. You can't have that stability if all four parts of your being aren't stable. You have to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually stable. If one of them is off, your whole being is off. And that, I believe, is another part of the breakdown. That's why I say it's such a deep, broad issue that to attack poverty in itself is very broad. Very, very broad. It's a broad spectrum because it's a state of mind. It's a comfort zone for some people. It's a comfort zone. I mean, we have people that they're just plain survivors. There's people that we know that they could be sitting there totally homeless. I mean, not have a house, like my grandpa used to always say, not have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And within a week, they have a house, they have furniture, they have beds, they have clothes, they have food, they have everything. You know, they have their house set up, and then they're fine. You know, and the thing that we see, like with my relatives up on the hill, where she'll probably take you later on the hill, we call it, the average electricity bill up there, average, is $800 and climbing. And the way our electric company works is they don't shut you off until you hit 2,000. You know, my cousin's at 2,000 right now, and they just shut her off yesterday. No,
by the time they shut you off, there's no way you can afford to. You got to pay the full bill plus $150 deposit. She's got to come up with $2,150. It takes her 2 months to make $2,150.
Yeah.
There's no way she can set aside everything
Without-
she makes for 2 months without eating, you know.
Yeah, and
paying another
without
bill.
going, you know, that's the other part of the vicious cycle, you know, is and then that sends our people into feeling forced into illegal activities, you know.
The phones are another issue up here. The FCC's got it blocked out so that 5 miles from your house is long distance.
Yeah,
So nobody can afford a phone up here.
yeah,
I mean, nobody. To call 10 miles from your house is a long distance call. And your nearest neighbor might be 3 miles away.
mhm,
You know, so you can't, most people just can't. A lot of people that do have phones can't afford long distance. So if you do have a phone, you still can't call out for help because you don't have long distance.
which then brings us to another conspiracy theory, because then they have this huge deal on cell phones on the res to where they want to keep track of all the indents because they know we're going to have an uprising soon.
Yeah, so now they just implemented this program, this Link program, where they're trying to put a cell phone in every house, and they're charging you $5 a month to do it, but
It's about social
yeah,
control
they're
and monitoring.
recording the calls,
Right.
and they know who talks to who, and
Yeah,
how
so
many calls
it's
a day
really,
you
you know, I
make.
mean, we're some of the most conspiracy theory minded people there is. I mean, we had it down to even the cars, didn't we? We had some
And we
kind of
could have
conspiracy going
competition.
on with cars and stuff like that, and this and that, and I mean, we had a whole. But I think the big thing is there, you know, that I don't know what the answer is, and I don't think the answer is going to come anytime soon. But it's really going to be, you know, as long as first you have to get people to realize that this isn't normal. You know, that's the thing. You know, like I said, I didn't know that I didn't grow up normal until I left home.
And then it's wrong.
Yeah, and that it's wrong, you know, and that's where I think our kids, especially the kids that we share, her and I, our boys, they're just everybody's boys. They don't see that. They don't see the way that they're living as unacceptable. So then when they go to college, if this is where we're scared, because there's a group of about 20 of them that are going to graduate this year. And they're all told, no, it's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's not an idea. We expect you to go to college. It is an expectation. You will go to college. And now here's the scary part, is that next fall at this time when they leave, did we do our job to prepare them for the real, for the outside world? For them to be, that their self-esteem and their pride in themselves and in their people and in their home is strong enough that they won't be weakened by seeing something that they think is better. Temptations, you know, will they fall into that realm of, you know, because then we told them, we expect you to go to college, we expect you to get a degree and a master's and come back and help your people. We expect that of you. And will they fall into that realm of not coming back? You know, the comfort zone of having a neighbor 5 feet from you. The comfort of having McDonald's 5 blocks away and not 20 miles away. Well, they fall into that comfort zone, and that's the scary part, and that's where I'm hoping we did our job and instilled that pride in them of who they are and where they come from. And that they are our Obi-Wans. You know, there are only hopes right now of change here, because if the regime that we have in power now stays, you know, the only ones that will fill their places when they leave is the ones that have followed them for 20 years, and then so on and so forth, and we need that change. And it's not that it's too late for us, it's that
It's their turn.
it's their turn, exactly, it's their turn. And I think that it's really, that's the thing there, is we have to first get to people, step one, you know, I can't stand AA, but AA is admitting that there's a problem, you know, admitting that, and you can admit it all you want. Yeah, we're a bunch of broke-ass interns around here. Yeah, that's a problem, I admit it. But realizing and labeling that problem and realizing that I play a role in that, you know, like I could teach my children to live the same way that I do. You know, they have the same spiritual values, they have